There we go. And we're up and at 'em. What's up, guys? It is, sorry for the game music, by the way. I had no idea where that was coming from. I was panicking and I couldn't turn it off. It was bugging the ever-living hell out of me, though.
Why don't you have Metallica on?
I don't know where it came from. I'm not even joking. Yeah, so next time, it's a learning lesson. Today is Wednesday, April 10th. We're going to talk about squatters. We're going to talk about our deals, how many deals we're currently got squatters in. I think we have 3 out of our 33 on the board. Plenty in the past to talk about. We're going to talk about strategies of getting them out. And then we're going to talk about Texas versus other states. You know, as much as we deal with squatters here, thankfully, we're in a state that is actually against squatters, doesn't believe in squatters' rights. So
we in California?
Yeah, that's my point, right? We're not, it's still a lot easier than some of our other friendly states. So we're going to touch base on that. But first, I wanted to, while we're waiting on TJ is actually getting his hair cut. So while we're waiting on TJ, I actually wanted to run some comps on some deals. These are just wholesale deals that came in our pipeline that the team sent over. And the way I got them is, so you got, hold on, just to teach Tony here, you got Realist right here. You're not going to use
That's exactly what I was going to go look up.
Yep. So, but every time, this is the first deal we're looking up.
Yeah. So basically, we're gonna comp this house in Colleyville.
Yep. So this is what was sent out, right? So that's the marketing image. It's a 422, 2,400 square foot. Starting bid,
Is 400.
yeah, 399,950. Starting bid. ARV is 575, so you have room there. You have 175,000 to grow. It's
I
only
just want-
2,400 square feet, so I'm sure the rehab isn't that bad. It's just updating.
I mean, I don't know what they're considering a 575 ARV house in Colleyville, because that does not look like a 575 ARV house. In
Every time you
Colleyville.
pull up a new tab, you have to
Mhm.
share it. I don't
So
know why you just didn't open the tab I already had open.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that because you didn't have this open.
Oh.
Moron. See, this coming from the guy that never has comped the deal in his
I
life.
thought I had it open for you. You said you were looking for that.
See what you're doing.
Did you pull it up yet?
Yeah, no, I know. No one can see what I'm. Oh, wait.
That's my point.
You
share
want,
the
you
fucking
want me
screen.
to share
Yeah,
this?
share the goddamn
Ew, gross.
sauce.
Sorry,
God,
people.
You're difficult.
So this is what I would first do. I would hop in and look at the comps, and just right off the bat, this saying this is 575 and they're asking 400. I'm like, let me see what's active around this thing. So I would go to 304 Greenbrier. I don't know what Matt thinks about this, but that ain't no, unless it's on like an acre. Or,
They sent it out at 70% minus.
I mean,
not even minus repair. They just sent it out at 69%.
How are we? How are we? Right? Like that's a closed deal at 435. How are they getting 600 for hours? That's a little.
Well, you got to update yours, obviously.
675, 699. You know. All right. So even this 675 house is 2,700 square feet. It's active under option, and this is what it looks like. So not a bad looking house. Matt probably knows
it's actually
exactly
really nice.
where this is, but to take this house, this other one, nope. Oh yeah, no, this one. To take this and make it look like the other, it's going to take, in today's market, probably 100 to 150.
So you got 150 on the rehab bid.
At least for new windows.
And what are you
roof.
calling ARV then?
I mean, they're calling it 575. I would agree with them. Let's just use their number, 575. You know, times 75 minus 150 on the light side.
Yeah. So our offer would be 281.
Yeah.
Well under. Well, more than $100,000.
Not even 381.
Right? Yeah, no, 281.
281.
281.25 would be our max allowable offer.
Why?
So that's not even where we're starting with them, right? That's obviously our high point. So we're
Because we
telling
didn't start at 70. We
Yeah.
started, and that's assuming it's only 150. But
Mhm.
to take this thing and make it look like this thing, I mean, that's a lot of money. Vaulted ceilings. I mean, obviously, we didn't show them what the photos of the inside looks like. I'm just showing them
that's
the
in
outside.
the next tab over. I have all the photos right now.
Which one? This one? Pics and videos. So we can go through this one. Ugh.
Yeah. So right off the bat, you're ripping up floors.
Popcorn,
You got popcorn on the ceilings.
wallpaper.
Dark, dingy.
Oh, I love that old school trim. I love when investors just paint it too, and they just leave it. They scrape the popcorn, then they leave the old school ceiling trim.
Are you supposed to? Is it supposed to be two-tone, like wood, and then?
Well, it's
Paint?
kind of inset there, it's like recessed,
Mhm.
but it's nasty. I don't know about you, but again, look at this entryway, right? This is when you walk in the house. This is the entryway, and then you look at where's the deal? This one. When you look at
Share.
this one, right?
Share.
I know. I'm getting there. Forgot we weren't on the same photo. Oh, and this is a terrible agent because they didn't list it in order. But look at this. This here, right? Like this is all open compared to this. I mean, That's a lot of structural work.
So right off the bat, you're not just going in there and slapping paint on it. The on this one, you're not able to pull away a wholesale, right? You can, but not at these numbers. Right?
I don't know
Even
anybody.
Still,
I don't know anybody that could pull a hotel down in Colorado. If
this
you
would be the listed like price of the hotel. That's what I'm getting at, right? Like they're already doing the hotel work without cleaning it out, without gutting it or anything like that.
I think if you make this less, I don't know what you consider this.
No, you have to buy it over $100,000 deeper.
I mean, you got vaulted ceilings there. That's cool, but to get this specific room to look like this specific room,
you just got to pull out 2 fans. You still have one left.
That's a lot of money.
They had a chandelier and 2 fans in that one room.
That's a lot of money. I was trying to see if they were crazy enough on this one to leave popcorn on that, but
yeah, no, it's on the right side, right by your.
You do see it, right?
Yeah.
Right, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, you can zoom in right by the.
I wasn't sure, but
or it's just a heavy.
No, that's just a heavy texture
knockdown.
Yeah, that's just someone went with some heavy texture.
It probably had popcorn on it.
Yeah, it's probably popcorn underneath the texture.
Yeah.
So we would offer whoever this guy is, or if you want our offer on this deal, it is $280,000. I'll give you $280 for your house, and that's assuming that I agree with your $575, and I think I do, but
All right, moving right along. I think this is actually the same wholesaler that we get to pick on.
Oh yeah.
So West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Not that song.
No. What are his numbers here?
So he's got a ARV of 270 for 1,000 square feet, with a starting bid of 180. Punch this guy in the face. Retarded.
He likes his 79999.
Yeah, he must have used to, or he probably still works at Walmart. Does this on the side?
Sure.
No, I was looking for the address, 1905 Virginia Street. So let's switch over to 1905 Virginia. I can't type on Nick's computer. This one was Grand Prairie, which I love Grand Prairie. I've done tons of these houses. Oh, look. It's listed. The subject is listed.
What's the problem with it being listed, Tony? Let's go over that.
It's active option listed. I wonder if
what's the list price?
The starting bid is $179,999.
Yep.
The list price is officially $190. So he got in and got a lower than list offer, which is good. It's good for him. But why wouldn't he just buy it and take it down and actually have the balls to do it? I still don't see where he's getting his value when.
Oh, he listed it. You're saying? I don't know if you.
I didn't catch that.
Okay. I was wondering. I
wasn't sure if he's an actual. I wasn't going to pick the guy apart. I don't know if he listed it. I don't know if he's a realtor, but he's comping it up against something that has a converted garage. So he's saying that this thing over here without a converted garage is only, he's right, 1092 square feet. You add that conversion, it's another 200 square feet. So you got 1292 square feet, right? Cool. But those are some ugly, those windows probably don't even open. They're those tilt. Those are those old 70s, 50s tilt windows.
How's Grand Prairie with converted garages? Is it going to have a problem with that?
I don't think GP has a problem as much as some of the others do, like Mesquite and Garland. I'm going to assume you can get away with it. The problem is that he's saying it's 270 ARV, and this one over here is let's just look at it from a perspective of size. He's saying it's 270. This one that he's comping against is 269,990, right? And it's sold, so he's got a good comp, but
with the converted garage,
It's got a converted garage, probably a step down.
What's the square footage on it?
This one's 1218.
All right, so yeah, that's the difference right there.
Yeah, so
the
I would give him that.
200.
I would give him his value. That's fair. He did a good job comping it, right? But what does the reno look like? So if it is a 270, oh, you think that roof needs to be done? You can get away with that. I think FHA will pass that.
When you start tearing it apart, you zoom in on that corner, all of that wood needs to get ripped out.
What do you mean?
On the right side, yeah, all of that's gonna have to get ripped back, and new old soffits throughout the entire front and back.
No, this is Hardy Backer wood siding. It's not the cardboard stuff. This can just get painted over. You don't even have to scrape it. You just paint right over that. I'm telling you, no one's gonna know. The market doesn't care. People don't care. So he does a good job. Oh, wait. He's showing you that the foundation needs to be fixed. So we already know we need some foundation. Although, sir, whoever you are, this doesn't necessarily... This is a terrible photo because it's giving us the illusion that it needs foundation. But this is like one of those little designer walls on the front porch. I'm going to go ahead and say that it doesn't necessarily need foundation work, but whatever. It's got PVC cleanouts, so maybe
Plumbing's replaced.
Plumbing is done.
It's not cast
would definitely
iron
give it a check. There's your gas. So it's got gas in the house, which is good because you would put a gas range in there if you're going to flip it. I mean, I wonder if the oil barrels are empty or if they have a person in them.
I've seen it.
I love this. I love this
one
design.
shutter.
Yeah, just the solo shutter.
Do you replace it or rip it off?
I don't know. Do you see what I see?
Yep, foundation.
Yeah, but not even. It's not even just like it's right down the middle of the house. So basically, the house is like opening up,
and that's right on the garage that you're about to convert.
Yeah, I bet if you walk in that garage, which maybe this guy put some photos of, I bet when you walk in that garage and you look at the foundation slab, it's going to be a whopping crack. Oh, what did I tell you about satellites? Told you. Almost every house we buy.
If anybody knows how to pull a list for DirecTV subscribers and overlay that onto my other list, please let me know. Drop it in the comments because Tony's got a suspicion that it's going to be a great lead source.
Public service announcement. Please, for the life of me and everyone else out there, put the lid down on the toilet before you take a goddamn photo. Just kick it closed.
It's not hard, folks.
You don't even have to use your hand.
You said kick. You kick
with
your hand?
No, well, I'm just saying. Like, so other people are going to go, I don't want to touch their toilet. I mean, come on. This is investor. I wonder if this is an investor's rental that they gave up, because this looks, or someone moved into it, because it looks like it was a previous flip with this flooring, right? That tile that was in that bathroom. This looks like it was someone's previous flip. But he's clearly showing you that you have massive foundation problems through all the stair.
New HVAC needs to go in.
Spider cracking over the walls, and then that weird split down the middle on the garage wall.
What did he have this listed as? Starting bid?
Starting bid was, if I'm not mistaken, $179. But man, there's that kitchen. We just paint that kitchen. Save money. Just paint the kitchen.
What'd you have for?
Yeah, I told you it had a gas range. It's a cooktop. But
what'd you have for the? It needs all new cabinetry. Oh my God. We're talking about squatters later, right?
We are.
Oh man.
I bet there's someone living in there.
Yep.
And then
that's an outhouse.
That's the outhouse. And then I bet someone might even be sleeping in there.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting ready for their nightly trash burn. So the panel might need to be updated. We already saw HVAC, and we saw gas cooktop, and then we see 4 extra slots here. There might be enough room to not do
Rewire.
a new panel and have to go with a bigger panel, but I also don't know if that means that they grounded all the outlets. So if you're a wholesaler and you really want to give your buyers like proper information, while this photo is incredibly useful, thank you. Can you go and take a photo of the sockets that are in the house? Because then we know if we have to rewire to get it to a 3-prong from a 2-prong. So that would be very helpful.
I know some jackknows is going to be in the comments like, yeah, what happens if they just installed a smiley face 3-prong? Oh.
Well,
yeah, I know. It just helps a little bit, right?
Yeah,
all the information, more,
I don't know if
more
they've
is useful.
Ever known that, like, that? Yes, yeah. So if there's a 3-prong there, great. But if it's pigtailed, or jerry rigged, or something, it wouldn't be good. But you could probably salvage this unit.
What?
That's a joke.
Give me an offer, because I got my number, and
so we have 1,200,
270.
We're at 1,200 and 1,250. Let's just call it square feet. I'm gonna say, and I can actually break down the reno if you want, or I could just give you the reno number.
Next week we're gonna talk renovations,
man.
actually. So that's better.
See, right there probably would have been the crack.
Yeah,
like just on the bottom of where this photo isn't. That's a nice chain. That's a belt drive. That's a belt driven.
Oh, is that what we're looking at the ceiling?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a wall.
Oh, that nail saves us at easily $1.50. Those nails. Oh yeah, 3. You got $4.50 in nails right there. Perfect. There it is. There's some crackage for you.
Called it.
Oh, and it's under the table. Come on, guy. Take a. Oh, you let me down. All right, so
270.
1,250 square feet. That's probably a $60 a square foot reno.
60.
Yeah,
I still did the same number.
And then from there,
I did 75 on a budget.
I would add maybe another 15 for foundation and roof. So 75, 80, 90 grand in reno.
All right, so you're at 270 times 0.7.
Yeah, 7.
5 and 75.
Give them 75.
Right,
That's
75 or 7.
Idiots are paying.
202 500.
Yeah, minus 90.
Minus 90.
Oh yeah, so 110.
112.
I'll give you 110.
110 max.
Give you 110 for this lovely 270 ARV house. My problem is that, all right, so if you just do the 179,999, right?
Do his 66%.
Do his numbers. 179,999. 999 plus 90,000 is
270. Yeah.
So he's basically just doing ARV minus repairs. That's what you're buying it for. The money is a mystery.
Well,
who needs profit?
He knows that he's selling this. This is a 66% deal. This is 66% of 270. Right. That's a home run. There's enough equity there. Somebody can make a profit. It's not his fault for somebody to make a profit.
Yeah.
This is the problem with wholesalers.
We did.
This is the problem with wholesalers that aren't investors. Okay. And this is what we always come down with. Because they don't understand the actual hard work and everything else involved. They don't understand the math of it.
Since we're not exposing this individual, I really don't know what to say about him. Right. But man, ARV minus repairs is not how you sell deals. I don't know what happened.
I know. You fucked it all
I messed it all up. All right, I'm out.
No, you're fine.
Where is Tim?
Getting a haircut.
Yeah, no, but he said 12 o'clock.
Why is that not sure? No, it is. All right, cool.
All right. So are we...
Tommy, let me know if I think this is going to automatically switch tabs on it. So I think we fixed it. So we're in Forning now.
So I actually, a buddy of mine texted me this and said, hey, do we want to make an offer? Because he knows I'm a lunatic and I really like burnouts. So Jessica and I jumped into it last night a little bit and we made an offer. I don't remember what Jessica offered, but
so let's break down numbers still.
Yeah. So let's just take their price divided by their ARV is what? 1252 Glendon. I don't have to
55.
click the share button anymore. Is that what you're saying?
55%. Yeah.
To Glendon. I think it was. Is it Rich City or is it Forney?
That's Forney.
Oh yeah. So Jessica this is what she was saying last night, that there's a bunch of new construction out here too. So when you're going and you're telling me that something is worth $599, but then new construction is going for $599 to $630, let's just say.
But when you're fully done with this, it's going to be rehab, top to bottoms. Have to rebuild the whole thing. Does that not make it new construction?
No, it doesn't make it new construction, but my renovation is going to be better than the builders.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that I can compete with the builders. Also, I would say that you beat the builders because you're going to have to pay a premium to buy a builder corner lot. So the fact that this is a corner lot, I don't know. I haven't even seen photos how bad it is, but we're kind of getting. Like, I'm getting more and more okay with competing with the builders. What I'm getting at. If I'm actually buying this as to fix and flip.
Did they have the square footage on there?
I don't think so. Large. Yeah. It's like 4,500 square feet, if I remember correctly. So let's look at the photos and kind of go through and see. Oh my God! Whoever made us have to click the accept for cookies, it's very annoying, sir. Fucking morons. Elmo want a cookie? Yeah. Those first two photos are alarming. I wonder how many alarms this fire was.
Because right now it's showing that you still have 2 stories. No, they can be nothing all the way down to the bone. On the inside.
Well, the best part
can just be standing there.
The best part is that builders get to call houses 100% brick when only 3 walls have to be bricked. So this, because they use hardy siding, counts as like a composite brick. So they get to call this 100% brick house, right? Anyway, none of that matters. This got so hot through the layers of insulation that it melted the outside. Plus, the firemen probably poked the wall. So I wonder where the fire started. Usually you can tell if they have good photos.
Don't have to replace outside units.
Of the holy moly. Carpet. Holy moly. Get it? Mm-hmm. Moly? Because that's all mold from
Stop making dad jokes.
The water. Yeah. That's a lot of remediation. Hey, those are the cabinets that were in our Irving one before we gutted it.
High-end builder grade.
Yeah. You could salvage those.
The bottoms?
Nah,
they're all sitting in water right now.
Water, wood.
Keep going.
It's all good.
It didn't start in the fireplace.
It didn't, but it definitely burned around the fireplace. Like you see,
that's just heat.
Yeah, but the blistering, right? And then it obviously melted the plastic blinds or curtains, whatever was up there. But come on. Show me where you started. Wow. That's a good size yard. I really want to renovate this one, but they won't give it to me at my price.
They closed the toilet.
Hey, they closed the lid halfway. Good job. It was probably the fireman.
Thanks, Emil.
You could see the burn, the heat. Look at the heat on that. I can't zoom in on this thing. No, I don't know what's happening. But look at the heat like that. The heat's so hot in the attic, right? That you have the heat blister on your vanity. Like, wait, is that outside? Are we looking at outside?
That is now the outside. There was a wall there.
Huh. This is where I wonder if this is the room.
The downstairs
where they busted it open.
Backyard, I think.
It's where the siding was.
Yeah.
I think. Where you see where the siding was. That's a photo from the inside looking where the siding was on the outside. Anyway, still not enough telling on the photos for me. I would think there needs to be more photos, but that doesn't mean anything. This is an entire gut job. And then the reason that I'm not sure if the downstairs framing can be salvaged is because they haven't peeled back the sheetrock for us. So all of this sheetrock, everything that's rock, this house has to come down to the studs so that I could see the rock, so I could see the studs and the
make sure there's no mold
beams and everything between first and second floor, all new insulation, and go from there. The last one we did that was this big cost us like $375,000.
So
naturally, that was a $1 million house, 1.1.
Do we have? Yeah, this is bad. It's 600.
Yeah, so this is 600, but it's the same square footage, right?
It's the same work, same, maybe not the same high end details, but
so
it's the same work going in.
If I were to back, even because the product in $1 million house compared to a $600,000 house isn't that different.
No,
you're still going to have
2x4s or 2x4s.
You're still going to have
sheetrock.
You're still going to have tile and granite quartz. Maybe you don't get a $5,000 range, right? I get some of that savings, but we're still going to have to do 200 at least in reno. So let's do 600. Let's do 600,000 times 70 minus 200, and just
you're doing 70 or 75 on this
70
one?
For conversation's sake. Minus 200. So we need to pay it 220 for it.
220.
Yeah. That makes it a profitable deal. And even then, I will say you ain't making any money on this deal, but that doesn't mean anything because
they're showing they're showing 4,000.
What do you mean? Rents. We can get 600 for ours. When this one's 510. Ours is prettier though, Nick. But this is active for 510. And then this is 5.25. Oh, it's so close, but ours is bigger, Nick. Ours is 300 square feet bigger, so we can get $100,000 more
easily, especially after our rehab.
Yeah, let's see what this thing looks like. All right, so oh man, it's got beige windows, that's just good. That matches the brick better than white, than the standout whites. This is a corner lot, very very comparable. I can easily see how this house should sell for $599,900. Wood flooring, decent colors. I would say this is move-in ready. Some family can come in here, do the honey-do list, paint on the weekends. I mean,
go back. Why do half blinds? One more. Well, yeah, there. Why do you have blinds there?
They probably had, might be an office, and they had some sort of like upper curtain, like farmhouse style upper curtain. And then that, I don't know, people are weird. Why, I like how you pick that out and not this like weird. I saw
that. That was like, yeah, just that's old.
Tentacle, light fixture. So, man, here's a wholesaler saying that you can get 600. They've clearly never done a renovation, because I don't know how we would get 6 for ours if this guy has been listed for more than a day, 60 days, and it hasn't sold.
He's just not motivated to sell. It's his fault.
It's an empty house. Oh, I'm gonna yell. I'm going to scream. You know why? I'm going to scream? Because this house isn't selling at 5.25.
Oh, and it's got a pool.
That's why our house is worth more. Because we don't have a pool.
Yeah.
No pool, more money.
Where did you find this photo? I'm so confused. You closed back out, found a pool, went back in, and found a photo for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
did you not go all the way through the photos?
Well, I went backwards.
Oh, okay.
And a shed.
And a she shed.
And a she shed.
One.
Yeah. All that staining, that doesn't mean anything. This pool doesn't cost any money. Our house Our
Appraisals
house.
only give him 10
Our
grand.
house is easily worth 100 grand more than that one.
So even, are you still confident the 220 offer still?
No, because, maybe.
After seeing that one listed for 60 days with a pool?
No, I see what you mean.
That's my point, right? Like,
My bad. So
yeah, like,
all right. So let's just do 500 instead of 525 or 599. Go to 500 minus 200, and what does that do, math wise?
oh, do you want me to do the math?
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like our offer is going to be like 90 grand.
Instead of the 600 to 500?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be, 150.
Yeah. There we go. That's our better offer.
150.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jessica and I offered them like 190. I think last night is what we messaged them.
Jessica probably didn't want to insult them.
Well, we also did 70%, and she did a little bit less repairs, and she also, and I'm going to go yell at her when I'm allowed to leave this room, because she told me the value was there, meaning she agreed with their value. So I want to know what fucking comps she used.
I'll just send her the link to this video.
Well, again, like these guys, you can't tell me. This is a perfect example, actually. This is a really good example of people telling me ARV, okay, when there are solds less than their ARV and actives actually active on the market less than ARV that they're telling us, right? So why are you telling me that it's worth 100 grand more than what's active? Because what's active isn't selling. Like this is 60 days on market. A healthy market's 90. That one's been listed for 60 and it hasn't sold. Let's see what this one is. Actually, I could just let me save you all a little bit of pain, because I'm ranting and I'm angry because fucking people are stupid. But let's just take some.
It comes down to the unknown.
Give them the
right?
benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say that it's because they're in the unknown. The unknown is that we're in a different market, right? These people.
Well, I don't think they've ever
in an upward market. So now we're doing drastic things like we're not really using solds as comps, right? You have to, like you just said, you have to use actives as actual comps, not.
Yeah. So this is this pocket. Look at the max is 163 days on market. The median is 58. Now our house that is 75 grand cheaper than that what they're saying our ARV is 60 days on market. And it's the one with the pool.
Mm-hmm. And so it's the one that should be sold already.
Yes.
Right? It should be the one leading.
It should have been the first one that sold.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you go to the closed listings, this is, for the record, people, I'm not going to lie, this is an unhealthy market. Do you know why?
Because there's so many on top of them?
Yeah, there's so many actives compared to solds. This is an unhealthy pocket, okay? You have 3 closed, and you have, 13 actives. That's an unhealthy pocket.
People are trying to get out without getting in.
And then I will say that this is telling. The house with a pool sold in 143 days on our street. That's our street that we just comped.
Mm-hmm. Pull that one up.
I mean, it's got to be this one. Yeah. So, cute, nice. I would have bought it. Why not, right? Single story. Let's see what the pool looks like. Ah, jeez. Advertising for those.
It's got a pool.
Yeah, neighborhood pool. There it is.
There it is. All right, actually.
Look at that brickwork. That's expensive brickwork. Mm-hmm. Somebody put 100 grand in patio and pool, maybe 150.
Wait till you see what's behind it.
Dude, that was an expensive job. Yeah, that was pricey. Someone spent a lot of money on this.
Nice gazebo area, whatever, right?
Yeah. I bet that's artificial. Love these photos. Agents, when you put a photo of a useless half bath. Amazing. Makes me want to buy the house. But you did put the lid down on the toilet. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's got barnwood doors.
Barn doors in a traditional house.
Doesn't have the husband install.
I can't tell you who I thought of just then. Oh yeah. I could smell this house from here. Ah! Wonder if they were short people.
No, it's for the dog.
Oh, it was for the dogs?
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was like the husband or wife needed the steps.
You know the small little urinal? It just dawned onto me that that's for shorter people, not for children.
You mean when you go into the restroom?
Yeah, and there's like a urinal, and I'm always like, why is there a kid's urinal in the bar?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not for kids.
It's for the shorties.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're hanging low.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
Is that a shit stain?
Oh, man. I'm just saying.
That's a shit stain.
I'm just saying. That is some prime carpet.
Scroll up. We're not even talking about it. We're just staring at it like freaks.
I want everyone to see what they're looking at.
Yeah. Everybody knows.
Look at that matted down, nasty ass carpet. Sorry, people. I got a little too egregious there. Enclosed over anxious. Something.
A lot of carpet.
Dude, that's a lot of carpet.
A lot of carpet.
That's a lot of carpet, and you know it smells.
Mm-hmm.
The agent let you know it smells without letting you know it smells. Like she, in the photos, was like, here, I don't want any negative feedback. I'm going to pre-tell you that this house smells like freshly steamed dog piss and shit because we had the carpet guy come and clean before the listing. And so now you just have the aroma of fresh steamed piss and dog shit built into the paint.
Over here, bud.
That's what they did with those photos.
All right, let's get out of this.
So,
but things to touch on, change in the market is we're not seeing Eat My Dick.
You're in my spot.
You're in my fucking spot.
hey, Tim, let me ask you a question.
Go, I'm not getting out of the middle. Fuck off. You and your sunglasses at night.
Tim, let me ask you a question. Wait, where did you go to Kids Cut?
Probably.
Yeah.
You didn't go to McKinney for that.
No, fuck no.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's too far.
Yeah.
Tim, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When this is your active pool, this is your neighborhood, this is how many active houses you have.
Can you make it a little brighter? I can't really see what you do.
And then this is how many sold houses you have. Would you say that's an active, like that's a healthy market?
Is it 12 versus 3?
13 versus 3.
13 versus 3.
Which one's which?
Well, 13
actives.
active versus 3 actually listed.
And so,
Sold.
Do we have a listing in that area?
No. We're just talking. This is
well,
it was a burnout that
well,
came across.
yeah, I made an offer on another burn house because why? Sarah loved the last one we did. We're gonna do it again. Look at this.
Yeah, we're just not going to let you talk to the buyers.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk to the buyers, and I'm gonna handle the renovation.
Wow. No, he did the renovation okay.
You're
Until the buyers got involved. And then
I'm gonna go back home.
Tim.
all right.
Tim.
No,
Tim.
I already have one. I had a
Tim will be
blueberry.
like, oh look, we could save the black. It's pre-blacked for us. We can save the faucets.
Oh, that
Save some money.
Ripped out
Can I have my coffee? I'm also was going to leave now. I don't know if you got out of me what you wanted, but that to me, those are 3 deals that I respect. No, I don't. I respect one of the 3.
What I like to break down of this was just the fucking need to actually know how to analyze a deal, how to break it down, those numbers don't make sense, right? The rehabs don't make sense. You're getting offers of wholesales coming across.
Why
and
are 7 people watching?
They are literally, it's on this TV in front of you.
You can see that far. It's dark.
Why don't we
Next week I'm gonna do a
let's
call
take
on
the-
breaking down and analyzing
yeah,
actual
but
deals,
let's take the
rehabs
same
and stuff.
3.
We can? Okay.
Yeah, just take the same 3.
Yeah.
Because we threw some numbers out there and we can we're going to fuck up our own numbers, I promise. But let's take the same 3.
Yeah, easy enough.
And then we'll just do our reno.
Yeah.
And then see if they were going to be profitable or not.
Roger that. You getting out of here?
Yeah, I'm leaving. Don't buy deals. What are you two idiots talking about?
We're gonna chat about squatters now. Fucking-
man.
those are the 3 bullet points.
My spot's in the middle.
Why do you have 2 sets of glasses on?
Because he's
So you heard about.
you gotta have the
Oh,
clear
thanks.
underneath the top.
I can have my glasses back. I can't see.
Doesn't anymore.
All right. Who's watching this stuff? We got someone watching this?
Yeah, people watching.
You guys are awesome. Send us a couple likes down there if you're watching, or any topics, or any experience that any of y'all have.
This is a
with
perfect
dealing
thing
with
that we can
squatters.
start
This
off
would be
with.
perfect. Why in the F? Because squatters are they're a big topic right now. Everyone loves squatters. We've had squatters. Everyone has squatters. New York has squatters. California, squatters have more rights than landlords. What does it say? Why in the F do squatters have any rights to properties that aren't theirs? Hey, props on the correct use of theirs. That's awesome. Guaranteed they would be leaving my house quick.
I think where it comes from is a lot of it is their tenant laws, right? Their tenant protection acts, right? They're things to help tenants from bad landlords, right? And when you say that, yeah, that's what you want. You don't want greedy landlords taking advantage of tenants, but that's not the average case, right? The average landlord is a mom and pop shop or somebody with 5 rentals and they're trying to get out of a 9 to 5. They're not these big monstrosities that are taking advantage of tenants. And squatters fall underneath tenants and a lot of times, right? They're either overstaying or there's something, right? A lot of times past tenants turn into squatters. So they get the protections from those.
Hold on, I'm doing branding here.
But they are not the same. They should not be the fucking same. And we're starting to see that they're getting treated differently across the board. I think in Florida, they just passed new legislation to actually make them criminal. Some other states are doing the same. So
I think there's a distinction that a lot of the politicians and a lot of people on Facebook and online don't really have between squatters and trespassers too. Because a trespasser isn't automatically a squatter. So we went ultra super viral. Check out the video, y'all. With what I would qualify as technically a trespasser. She was breaking in. She was putting some crap in the house. She was hanging out. Now, at what point does a trespasser become a squatter? Well, and then at what point does a squatter have actual ownership rights in a property? So there's already laws, even in California, where squatters, in order to actually have actual ownership rights in the property, have to be there for a duration of time, 3, 7, 10, 20 years in some states. They have to assert their rights in court. And then they also have to take reasonable care and precautions in the property. And in a lot of states, so this is kind of a blanket statement, but in a lot of states, they have to do things like pay the property taxes in order to get rights. So is there a value in the marketplace to that being an ability in the law? I think probably it comes back to old homesteading laws, where like, hey, if you take care of something long enough, maybe you actually have an actual ownership interest in that. Where I think it becomes a problem is when you just have tenants at sufferance, which is basically a tenant that overstays their lease or isn't paying. Now you're suffering by having a tenant instead of benefiting from having a tenant, and they stick around and they don't pay. And then how long is it fair for them not to pay? Well, in our opinion, it's not. Like, you got to pay to live somewhere, and everyone not everyone, but hardships happen. So there ought to be some leniency in that respect in terms of how to get payments from people eventually. But 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months to evict when there's no legitimate ownership interest in the house.
And they don't care about it either, right? That they're not showing that they care. That a lot of these people, they're climbing in and out of windows. That's how they're getting into the house. The house is falling down around them. They're not taking care of the yard. They're not taking care of it, right? Again, they're using it as they're entitled to stay there, and that's it.
Well, I think the entitlement mentality is the biggest issue. You think you're entitled to someone else's property just because you happen to inhabit the place. What does it say? The CEO of McDonald's makes $23 million a year, and the McDonald's server now in California makes $20 an hour. So the McDonald's server should be part owner because they're contributing to the McDonald's. It's like the same thing with squatters, right? Oh, and since you happen to live there and you're there now and taking care of stuff, you ought to get an ownership interest in the thing. Well, if you want to be an owner of something, buy something that is worth owning. A family member of mine, speaking of California, just actually had a squatter situation. Someone stopped paying rent during COVID, and no one's stopping property taxes.
Well,
no one's stopping mortgage payments.
during COVID, we actually was the first time they actually told them not to pay. Right? No, it's okay. Don't pay your rent. Don't pay. You're going to get forgiveness and all these things, but not the mortgage wasn't being forgiven. Right? You had PPL loans going out. You had all these grants, everything going out. But at the end of the time, you had a huge wave of people stopped paying right at COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hurt Texas that much, but had your buddy make out in California?
Yeah, they're fine.
Okay.
They're all right. They got some extra money.
My brother had he inherited a property from his mother that passed away, and he moved in. It was a split colonial. He moved in. He was living upstairs, had a tenant in the basement, downstairs, and guy just moved in, stopped paying one day, and it took him 2 years to get him out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're upstairs, you're literally eating dinner, watching this guy walk into your house, leave your property, and you can't do anything. If he touched him, he would go to jail. If he did anything, if he stopped him from going in there, it was, even though it's his own property, he had to watch this man violate it every day for 2 years. And that's okay in some states. Thankfully, we're not in that state.
Going in and out, violating the property.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you want to say, right?
Just trying to give
what other word is a good word for somebody using your property in a way, right? Like what squatters do to your home, if it's in that state, it was his homestead, right? Like that is his most valuable piece of property, everything, right? Asset. And
so what's the best way to deal with squatters? Hold on, I'm going to share this on Facebook while you're thinking of that. Oh, you can answer it. I'm just sharing on Facebook.
Cash or key is usually the best way, just because it's fucking painless. It's usually the least painful. I say that, but it's gonna take you swallowing your pride. Because honestly, paying somebody $5,000 just to get out of the property that you own, man, that takes a big pill to swallow. A lot of times, though, they'll turn it down. In the one that we're dealing with right now, one of the 3 deals that has squatters in it, we offered her up to 25 grand, and this woman has turned it down so far. She hasn't paid in years. She hasn't done anything to the property to keep ownership, none of that. And she's still turning down 25 grand. She's still dragging us through all these legal processes. Because it doesn't matter. She feels entitled. She thinks she's entitled to the entire property just because of an old lease agreement. Mind you, she hasn't paid anything in years that she's had this lease agreement. So if she wanted to keep paying for it, that's fine. But she again, it goes back to intent. It goes back to showing what she actually wants and what the hell they're doing. So do you have we're dealing with the squatter right now and just filed an eviction letter and have a court date.
So with that's a good. It's actually a really good question. A really good
Are
topic.
we as the wholesalers enough to show up to the court? It does have to be an actual owner. That's a good question.
Daily comedy culture. I like the title. Mr. Culture. Do you, as a wholesaler, there's a lot of questions to answer with that.
But well, first off, it matters what state you're in.
Let me say how we deal with it and how we would deal with it. When we're renovating a house, Nick's a pretty handy guy. I'm actually more for the looks and not so much for the handiness myself. But we know how to do all the stuff. Put in tile. I kind of like granite. It's kind of fun. It's heavy as shit. But paint houses, I'm not good at painting. So for us, what we do is we hire the professional. And I don't want this as a cop-out answer, but Texas. Yeah. I don't want this as a cop-out answer, but we don't paint our own houses. We don't do our own tile work and our flips, that kind of thing. We just hire the professional. We hire the attorney, and I've done this for 16 years. Not proud of having to do it, but I've evicted people in 3 different states because of non-payment. And if you're not paying, you don't pay, you got to go, as Ben Muller would say. They don't pay, they don't stay. But that being said, I'm not an eviction attorney, even in Texas. Even with all the evictions we've done in Texas, we actually had one house in Texas. Unfortunately, we had to evict 2 different tenants from last year, just because, I don't know, the house in a weird spot. We qualify the tenants, and the tenants stopped paying. We got to evict them. So it is what it is. So in your particular case, what we would do in this circumstance, even if you are wholesaling the property, is we would call the eviction attorney that we use. And if you're in Dallas, that's easy. Just give us a call and we'll give them to you. Or if you're in Houston or rural area, whatever, and have them take care of it, because there's so many differences in the counties. I'll give you one really easy difference in the counties in Texas. In most metro areas, Dallas, for example, if you go all the way to a set out, you put the stuff on the curb, you got to wait 24 hours, and then you send your junk guys to go get it. That's generally assumed as being like what you're supposed to do. Turns out, according to the constables in what county is Weatherford in? Weatherford, which is east of.
Is that in Dallas?
It's east of West Texas. It's west of Fort Worth. Sorry. Anyway, west of Fort Worth. They said that actual Texas law is you just got to put it on the curb. It doesn't need to be there for any kind of timeline. And they said, hey, as soon as the shit's out here, as soon as we leave, you guys can toss it out. We don't care. So, I mean, are they anyway, so we don't care. Like, obviously, we're going to do what the constable says in either case and toss out the stuff either after 24 hours if it's in Dallas or after, after they leave if it's in Weatherford. But in either case, like, the point of that is evictions are so county specific because especially during something like COVID in Dallas County is going to have so many overlays and so many disclosures and so many requirements for actually processing an eviction completely. And it's going to be different than Collin County. It's going to be different than any of the rural counties that are a little more.
Some of them, you walk right after they walk out, they have the tenant. What do they call them? The
tenant advocate.
Yeah, tenant authority or whatever. I don't know. And they're there literally just to help them fill out the all the paperwork to appeal it and bullshit, right? Like go back and fight it. Yeah. So
we've heard of
free help.
We've heard of cases in Dallas where, not that we've bumped into, but where the management company was evicting a tenant, and the judge asked the tenant if they had representation. You don't need representation if you're being evicted, but the judge is at the JP level or whatever it is level, basically said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll help you with the law, and I'll show you where to go to fill out the appeal after we're done here." So you have a hostile court system working actively against landlord rights in a lot of these metro counties, and also acting discordantly or opposite the actual laws of the states that you're in, even in red states like Texas. So that's a really long way to answer your question, Mr. Culture. But we hire the professional.
Yeah.
If there's a squatter, they have all kinds of things that they can pull out of a hat. So how is your eviction going to get tossed out? Well, your eviction is going to get tossed out if you posted a notice on the outside of the door instead of the inside of the door.
We had one. We got tossed out because we posted it too much.
It's going to get tossed out because
it was harassment. They said.
I think the justification was if you send a notice to vacate through the mail and on the door and give it to them in person, whichever one gets to them last is the one that you have to actually file the eviction based on. So there's date timelines to all those different things, and we're kind of turning this into an eviction conversation, so I'm not prepared with all the timeline requirements in Texas, but it also isn't just applicable to Texas. So the point is, you hire an eviction attorney that is accustomed to dealing with this kind of thing, and they're going to have the most straightforward path for doing the eviction, doing the set out. So in your situation, what we would do is we would try to have, if there's a massive spread, if we're going to make $100,000, we might even risk closing on the deal ourselves and dealing with a squatter and taking it over. Now we're going to make sure that squatter doesn't have, and I've done this before, we're going to make sure they don't have any kind of ownership interest in the property. We're going to make sure they don't have some kind of bullshit lease, because they're incentivized to lie. Like, they're already incentivized to steal because they're getting shit for free. So now they're incentivized to lie. So how do they lie? Well, they lie by making up a lease that doesn't exist, by falsifying a landlord's signature, by making a lease for $1 for 20 years. Is that lease valid and binding? Well, if the landlord signed it, actually, it probably would be. Is it valid and binding on them?
It's valid enough to get the case kicked another 30, 60 days, and you're just stuck there bleeding money.
In Texas, do they have a potential ownership interest in the property? Do they have a lease option on the property from 10 years ago when lease options were legal? I don't know when they outlawed them. They're not technically outlawed in Texas, but when they made them more restrictive in Texas, do they have an old lease option from 10 years ago? Well, in a Texas court, the Texas court is going to say, well, they now have a potential ownership interest on this property, so now we have to litigate the whole thing, because Texas courts are, even in Texas, even in a semi-red state, they're still very adversarial to landlords and landlord rights. Evictions, for example, if it's a straightforward eviction, where at least back in the day, again, coming from California, our evictions were faster than Texas evictions sometimes. Now, as long as it's straightforward, as long as you're on top of things. Evictions in Tennessee, for example, where I've done other evictions, pretty fast. Texas, county by county. So sometimes 30 days, sometimes 90 days. Sometimes if it's a squatter thing, like you said, 2 years. What's Tony's record for Sharondale?
That was 2 years.
It was 2 years.
And that was, again, it comes down to a title issue. They had a piece of paper, and that piece of paper was good enough to just drag us through the courts, right? Again, the entire time we're paying lender money, we're paying the taxes, we're paying not the utilities, but we're making sure that it's not being posted, right? We're not getting town fines and stuff like that on it. So the entire time they're just bleeding you. So
what happens in this case? Well, okay, you're going to say we have title insurance, and now we're going to turn into a squatter versus title insurance conversation versus eviction conversation. The title insurance, even if it covers the acquisition of the property and the purchase price of the property, and even if they maybe settle with a squatter and give them some money to go away because they missed something that should have been on title, if it's not on title companies generally don't cover it anyway. So that's one fallacy in title insurance. And then B, they're not going to cover all the actual operating losses that you're having on this property and accruing on this property by taking care of it, as Nick just said. So if the property is shaggy and the squatters aren't taking care of it, you're going to get the city code to come out there and put notices for the grass getting cut. If you're in California and it's a tenant at sufferance, so they're there and they're just holding over, they're not paying. At that point, I would qualify them as a squatter. You're still actually required to, 13 viewers. That's actually pretty cool.
the second you stop talking, we lost one.
Yeah, we lost one as soon as I stopped talking.
Never look at them.
That's why I stopped talking, so we could lose some viewers. California, you have an affirmative duty to actually maintain the integrity of the property, regardless of your access and regardless of your payments. Texas, not so much. You have to maintain certain things. You have to maintain like air conditioning in Texas in the summer, and you have to maintain heaters in the winter. But do you have to fix broken windows if the tenants aren't paying in Texas? The way I've interpreted the law, probably not. So in California, you get a broken window, squatter comes in and complains to the city, you're actually now potentially liable for that, in addition to them not paying. Is that fair? Is that good? I'm not here to make a judgment statement about
messed up that is, getting ratted out by your squatter.
Yeah,
right. Like you're getting fines on a property because there's squatters complaining about how shitty your house is.
Oh, I was going to say I'm not here to make a judgment call. In business, we're not here to judge the laws.
I'm here to judge California.
And on Facebook and on YouTube, yeah, no, we can talk shit about it. But in business, we can't pick a fight that we can't win because there's no point. Right? We're not going to go out there and try to change the laws as an individual in a business. We're going to make business decisions based on the business. If we want to get into politics, you give money to a politician that you like or that maybe has the same values as you. If we want to get into politics, you run for office, you try to change the laws, the channels to change laws. You're not going to change a law like a squatter law or an eviction law by going to court and duking it out. So the best deal is to avoid the problem to begin with and or make a very calculated risk. In the case of Mr. Culture here, make a very calculated like risk-benefit assessment on what's the likelihood of the squatter being legitimate, having a potential ownership interest, what's the turnover time for getting them out, what was their original reason for occupying the property, were they like in our case, our super viral video, were they just someone that broke in and hung out? They have a lot less rights, especially if you can prove that, than someone who had a lease. A leasehold over is going to have somewhat more rights. You're still going to be able to get them out, but it's going to take more time. Actually, it might take about the same time in terms of those two. Do they have a potential ownership interest in the property? In other words, have they been there a long ass time? Have they paid the property tax? That's a good one. Can they assert their rights in court? So here's a good question, even in Texas. In order for a squatter to actually own a property, then they need to go to court and assert their rights of ownership in that property. Now, here's a case I don't know. If anyone knows, maybe they could speculate on it or share it with us. But assume that I buy a property that a squatter would potentially have ownership rights in because they've been there a long time and they've been paying property taxes, but they haven't actually gone the step to going to court and then asserting that, okay, I should now own this property because of X, Y, and Z. Probably not in Texas because they're clamping down on squatter rights out here, but in other states, what's the judge going to say? Well, the judge is going to say, well, I know, Mr. Squatter, you haven't actually asserted your rights in court for actually owning this property at this point, but we're going to court now, so let's duke it out right now.
Conveniently, here I am.
Yeah, conveniently, like, hey, you're here now, you're forced into court. Well, now let's sort it out. Do you want to sort it out? Attorneys are expensive. So if you're making, $1 million, maybe sort it out. But if you're making $1 million, the other guy can make $1 million if they have ownership rights too. So you probably ought to watch your tail. You're allowed to say ass.
You can say whatever you want. We're past 10 minutes.
No, that's true, and we're not going to monetize this page anyway.
It's so fucked up.
I think I need black. Yeah. I need black shirts.
It just kills me because again, it like Peggy said, right? Like, what rights do they have? How do they have any rights to something that's not theirs? I always use the case, like, if I just can I move into like a Walmart and just stay there and just start living? And no, that shit's mine now, right? Like, no.
So that's an interesting question. Can I park my car in a parking garage and have ownership interest in the parking garage? I actually, me or someone else in the class asked our real estate law teacher in college, how is it different? How is there no tenancy rights for example, a ballpark or a parking garage or a shopping center? Why is it that you can get arrested for hanging out in Walmart and camping out and you can't get arrested for the house? Well, basically because of commercial real estate lobbyists, but basically because a ticket to enter a ballpark is a license to use the facilities versus a easement by taking it over. So an adverse easement where I just happen to be using this guy's front lawn to walk across every day to get my mail. And now I've been doing it for 15 years and I'm in California. True stories. This stuff happens. Now I have an adverse easement to cross that guy's lawn to go get my mail. And do I have to perfect that in court? I just got to keep using it. It needs to be notorious, adverse, and hostile. Something like that.
We can make it hostile. Killed all the grass in the walkway.
It does make it hostile. But so I've heard of cases in California, for example, and contrast to Texas, where, okay, you got two lots next to each other. One dude has a nice house. One dude has a shitty house. Dude with a nice house has a driveway that goes to the back of his property for his car. Dude next to him is like, hey, I want to build a nice house like your house. Do you mind if I use your driveway to like drive material to the back of my property because I don't have as good access as you do? It's like, oh, no problem. I'm a nice guy, being neighborly, no problem. I don't mind that whatsoever.
Always bites you in the ass.
So what happens in that case? Well, unless you have a written agreement for a duration of time and you basically have a license to use, well, what they're doing is creating an easement by prescription. They're creating an easement through use, a hostile easement. So then we go to evict, not me, but you go to evict the guy using my driveway to go to the back of his property. And the court is going to say, they're not going to say, oh, you got other access over here. They're going to say, well, you've been using it now for whatever the duration of time is, 2 years, because it takes a long ass time to build a house. Well, since you've had this thing for 2 years, now you have rights to this easement. And now this easement can actually attach on title to the neighboring property. Welcome to California.
Yeah.
That's a case from, I think it's up in Julian. If anyone wants to look it up, it's a case from probably 20 years ago or something.
Have you looked at any of the, have you seen any of like the Reddits or anything? Like there are actually subreddits showing how to be a squatter, right? Like there are people promoting it. I know there was the viral video of the immigrant that came across.
I'm checking this out. When are you going to start working out more?
I don't know.
I'm just curious.
When I'm done kicking ass. I'm kind of busy. So anyway,
don't hold your breath.
Go back to the guy that talks a lot.
I'm the fat fuck that came in here with a donut. Is it illegal to tell? So you may or may not have an upcoming show on some channel that may or may not be airing relatively soon about a squatter video that absolutely went super viral. 30 million views on YouTube, several million, 8, 9, 10 million views on TikTok, and a couple views on Instagram. I don't know how many on Instagram, not as many. Is it illegal to tell someone? Is it illegal to tell someone how to take advantage of squatting laws?
So the
that's fucking cool. Dude.
Squatter that's getting deported. Yeah, The squatter that's getting deported is actually, it's wild. They went out and found that person.
So you mean Joe Biden's Department of Justice is deporting someone?
Did you see the video or no?
Well, that's why Tommy's here. She pull up the video for us.
But they got arrested. Oh, good blood. This clown.
It's not showing it.
No, they're not.
Oh, Tony's still on the team. They should stream it live.
He also tells his followers that he waits for Americans'
Is this
hard-earned
something?
pension checks
You have people
to come
doing
in
this
every
type of
month.
stuff.
In another video, he is urging fellow Venezuelans to pay the fines of a 15-year-old migrant who allegedly shot a tourist in Times Square, saying, quote, "Today it could be him, tomorrow it could be one of you." But this recent video on squatting is making headlines, as Moreno tells his comrades that if they fix up an abandoned home that is deteriorated or in bad condition, they can get credits when the properties are sold. While Burling says that is not the case, the misinformation is now out there.
Well, I think publicity, like
But
He had a really interesting phrase. Was it the
credits? You can build up credits?
No, the news anchor, comrades.
Oh, yeah.
He's selling comrades. Is that a dig at? Because Venezuela used to be kind of communist, right?
No, but there are so many other places like this, right? So there's this comrade here, right, that's talking to his Venezuelan friends. There's subreddits that are literally telling people, hey, just go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that. Stay in these properties, find for sale by owners, and just move in the back door. And it's happening.
Oh, they're
It's
framing on the pictures.
frequently,
I'm like, what
right?
framing?
All of this bullshit is happening.
Pull up Michael's other comment because I want to address that really quick.
This?
Yeah. I thought we were like framing a house I didn't know about. I'm like, I hadn't seen that charge on Amex. Lumber's expensive. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? What the hell is Tommy doing with framing? Like, Tommy, you building a house that we don't know about? Oh, thank God I was stressed. I was worried.
Miss you, Mike. I hope all's well. Oh, man.
But no, you know what? It actually looks pretty. I make it look good.
Yeah. Thank God you're here.
Cheers to that.
I'm going to start drinking. I forgot to start drinking before this one. That's the problem. I usually take the edge off early.
Next time you should prep out a couple squatting like articles and stuff.
I did that last week.
Oh, last week?
Yeah.
Where was I?
You weren't here. You decided to paint your nails. No, that was 2 weeks ago.
I didn't do my nails done more often.
Fuck, what else do we want to touch base on?
I think it's pretty good. We're like right at an hour mark. You guys talked about deal breakdowns, which is useful. We talked a lot about squatters. We could talk, squatters are a popular topic. So we could totally prep out, like, it's going to be a little state specific. And on YouTube, we have, how many up to? 93, 92?
It's 9,100.
It's only 91. I thought it was 92. 200. All right, now we got a ways for 100,000. But we could talk a little bit about ways of doing evictions that work, ways of doing evictions that don't work, and how we process ours and how we deal with ours. I think that might actually be a useful conversation because that's going to, we can clickbait the title. It's really easy. How to get rid of your squatters, regardless of what kinds they are. Because again, I would argue that a tenant that stays over is then a squatter if they're not paying rent. If they're still paying rent, they're still a tenant. That's fine.
Well, what scares me is a lot of time I keep saying these wholesalers, a derogatory term. I don't mean it that way. Fuck you if you took it that way. But wholesalers, they don't realize that who is actually a squatter, who's a past owner, who's somebody that has legal rights to the property, who doesn't. And man, it can get messy real quick.
I mean, we could map it out a little bit. That might be useful. We can map it out. Pull up the last couple comments. Let's address these, and then you guys are definitely started the squatter trend through, though. So all of this stuff happens right now is because of y'all.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Absolutely.
It all started by saying, "Get the fuck out."
That worked.
Joe,
what's up, man? Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys watching. For YouTube Live, it's pretty solid.
So next week, I'm going to do a breakdown on how to actually calculate rehabs, how to actually
Oh fuck! When's the last
break
time
down
you did a
deal.
rehab?
We're gonna talk about that just in underwriting, right? We're talking about everything that's underwriting. The reason being is because next Thursday is our next in-person event. It's in our office. If anybody needs the link, Tommy's going to drop it. It's in our office. It's right outside, 5:30 to 8:30 or whenever I kick you out. This month, we're talking about underwriting your deals, how to look at them, how to make sure you're not buying properties with squatters. If you're buying a property with a squatter, how the hell you're going to get them out. We're going to break down all these things. We're going to roundtable and actually discuss it. So come out to that one. That is on the 18th of April, next Thursday. If anybody needs anything, reach out, drop a comment. We're always here to help.
Hey Tommy, you know that guy that does the green lines on Twitter? He writes like green lines if someone's leaning in or leaning out or something like that with like dating. Can we get some of those for next week too? I want to, then we like paint them on the screen.
I'm going to see if I'm leaning toward you. I'm going to choke him.
I'll see y'all next week.
Later, guys.
Boom, hour and 2 minutes.